What's up, everyone? It's Matt Mrozek, and this will be the first work in progress on, I think this is Hellboy number either 6 or 7. I can't remember how many of these I've done. I want to say it's 6. It could be 7. So this is finally for one of my old clients that just didn't want to, he didn't mind waiting for me to catch up with some stuff. So I'm just about done with prototype work for now. So now I'm starting to do some of these private commissions again. And so he sent me this, and he sent me another one that I'm really excited to do because it's a kit that I'd owned previously and I sold it. And I'll do another video for that here shortly. But this is Hellboy, Narin's Hellboy. Anyone who kind of been following me or pays attention to anything I do has seen me do a few of these. And actually, it was my first Hellboy that kind of, one of the first pieces I did that really kind of got me going and got me recognized in the statue world. So anyway, quick intro to the kit. Is from Narin, in case you didn't know. It's quarter scale, meaning it's 1/4 the size of Hellboy if he was a real thing. This kit showed up no damage, which is great because even though this is a very high quality kit, the casting is good, the details are really sharp. Narin uses a very brittle resin, which I'm not a fan of. So typically brittle resin is a big no-no, is no good, but that's what he uses. So I don't know, it's got a kind of a, it almost smells like fiberglass, so I think it maybe has some fiberglass in it because when you sand it, it's got a fiberglass smell to it. But the quality of this kit is very, very good. Like I said, I think I've done, this will be number 6 or number 7. The last one I did, he showed up with a broken nose. I had to resculpt the nose, so luckily I don't have to do that on this. And also it showed up with the last one I did, the gun was all, this part was all broken, so luckily I don't have to fix anything. It's just a matter of building it and painting it. So let's go over the pieces real quick. We have the base, which is pretty simple. It's got the kind of Hellboy symbol in the middle, and Narin always signs his stuff on the bottom. So it's up to the collector whether he wants me to paint over this or not. I typically in the past just paint over it black, but if he wants to keep it, maybe I can mask it off and paint around it. It's up to him. And typically, so we got like kind of this rock feature, and then like this kind of gear in the middle, and then the Hellboy symbol. So you know, obviously I usually do the rocks in a rock tone, and this in a metal tone. And I've done this in gold, I've done it in silver, and I usually put a red in the lines for like for blood. His boots are really, really nice, very nicely detailed. Got these great buckles on it. So I've done everything from all metallic to black with red inserts. So this is another one where I get to do what I want, which is great. So I love it when a client says, do your thing, because I get to change it up. I've got some ideas for this guy to do it a little bit different. I don't want to go too far off because I've got a couple things that work really, really well. Like the red I'm going to probably stick with that I've been doing. I think it fits him very well. The things I'll change up probably the most will maybe be the pants a little bit and the trinkets. So, but anyway, the boots are really nicely detailed. Lots of buckle detail and stuff. So obviously you got 2 of those. And then we come up to the pants, which are these great leather pants, and then the belt. Excuse me, painting wise, the belt takes me the longest. It's very time consuming because I hand paint it all, but I do a leather technique, and depending on how I'm feeling, it depends on what kind of leather I'll do on this. So I definitely think I want to change up the black part of the leather a little bit. I've typically just done straight black, but I think I want to do something where I pick out some of these leather panels and maybe do a slightly different tone, maybe like a 2-tone or a 3-tone. I'll probably stay in the black family. I don't know if I want any brown to it. I've seen some brown leather pants that look really, really good, but I kind of like the black because everything else then pops off of it, the leather and the metallics and everything. So I may stick with like some black and some dark grays because it's got a lot of great panels, and previously I've just done black. So we may change it up a little bit and do something different there. The belt's got a ton of great detail, a lot of leather straps, little metal buckles here and there. So this one takes a very long time. I think the first belt I did took me like 2 days just to paint the damn belt because it's very, very detailed. And I do a lot of washes and weathering techniques to get a lot of depth and stuff. So it's a fun part of the build, but it's very time consuming. So we got that. And then moving up, we have the torso, which comes in 3 pieces. We got the torso, the arms, and the head. Sculpted very well. They do a good job cleaning it up. There's really no, this one, a few of these I've had to do a little bit of cleanup. This one looks pretty good. Like I'm not seeing any seams or anything I got to deal with really. So they do a pretty good job of cleaning these up for the most part. So we have the torso, and then we have he's got a couple switch outs. His horns switch out, and he's got a left hand that switches out depending on what you want to show. So for his right hand, we got the Fist of Doom, which will go up in here like that. And so this is the first part of this build will be basically assembling him, adding some magnets where needed, and stuff like that. So this will go here, and then we actually have the actual fist, which will get epoxied in there like that. I'll paint these separately, and then I'll glue it in at the end, because I have a really, what I like, I kind of go in there, I paint this kind of gold, faded to orange, faded to red kind of look in these lines, and then do a kind of a red stonish. The Fist of Doom takes a long time too, because I paint the inside, and then masking off all these lines takes forever. So I've been using masking tape to do that. I'll probably try silly putty this time. Maybe that'll be a little quicker. I don't know, but it's very time consuming to go in there and mask all that, because I use an airbrush to paint everything. So yeah, so I'll pin this, epoxy this, and fill it with Aves to blend the seam. And then we have this arm over here, which right now it's got nothing on it. Same thing, we'll pin, epoxy it, fix the seam line, or the gap. And this is where a switch out is. The first one is he's got his big gun, which is really, really cool. So I'll add, I did a technique on the last few, which I really liked, where, excuse me, I inserted magnets that had a hole in the middle, and then I put a steel rod in the hands, and it went up there and magnetized very well. The tricky part about this is that the size magnet in there, it just barely fits, and this is very brittle resin, and it likes to chip out, so it's very nerve-wracking to add those magnets. And then we have the hand here. I would normally just do a pin, but this thing's pretty heavy. I might be able to get away with a pin if I make it long enough. Just has some weight. And I can't just do surface magnets. I can't put a magnet here and just do a flat magnet here. It won't hold it. I tried it on the very first one I did. Excuse me. And it barely held. So after that first one, I started doing the magnet holes with the steel pin. You just need something to, because it's got a lot of weight on the end, so it wants to pull down. So there's not enough magnetism that, I mean, you probably could if you had a really strong magnet, but then every time you do this, you have the chance when it goes together, it snaps. And this, like I said, this resin's brittle. If it snaps too hard, it'll shatter. So I think I made at first try just a really nice long pin that goes up into the forearm on this, because I just need something to hold the weight of the gun. The other hand is just an open palm, with a great detail on the gloves, kind of mimic the pants and boots. And then we got the head, which looks just like Ron Perlman. Great sculpt on him. So this is the Ron Perlman version of Hellboy. And we'll have to, so what I do with the head is when I put this in, I'll add a pin in the middle, then I drill a bunch of shallow holes all the way around the neck and this, and then I use epoxy and I clamp it down, and those little shallow holes fill with epoxy, and then it just ensures that the head's not going to come off. I actually need to go get some more epoxy. I'm almost out. I don't think I have enough to do this piece. I should have gotten some. I was just out at the store. So that's how that'll work. And then we got to fill in the gap with some Aves to blend everything together. But yeah, so what I have to do is I have to build everything first, get all pinned, get everything working before I do any paint. And then we have the tail, which obviously goes in the back here. And I'll just get a pin so I can put it in, and it can come off for shipping. Excuse me. And then he's got horns. He's got two, like I said, the horns are the other switch out. So we got full horns and we got cut off horns. And I'll probably stick with what I've been doing in the past on the horns, do a really nice glossy, super high gloss finish on these, because I like it and it works. Why fix it? Why fix something that's not broke, right? And I think it's just a nice contrast between all the different finishes on the piece. I will have to put some thinner on this. Got some residue from the tape. So we got the full horns, and these are keyed very nicely. They only fit on one side. One side's got a triangle for a key, and the other side's got a square. So I love the horns. Boom. And then he's got, in this bag, he's got some horns that are cut off. I only have one crit about this entire kit, and it's kind of small, but it's stupid. And then the cut off horns will go in there. Just like that. So those switch in and out very nicely. Also, I was mentioning the last one came with a broken nose. The edge around the horns was broken, so I had to resculpt that. So that was, it's a lot of work when something comes broken. You got to resculpt stuff. So that's how that works. And then you get a few accessories, not a whole lot. I get this really cool scabbard or knife and a really cool sheath. And I typically put a magnet in here and put it there so it can come on and off. In the past, I've done like a green jade kind of finish on this, but he wants something different, so I'll come up with a different. I've usually done a bone handle, so maybe I'll do something else. Maybe I'll do a bone sheath with a wooden handle, and still do metallics and stuff on all this really cool trim. So we're gonna change that up a little bit, and then it's got this really great holstered gun, and that typically goes here. Again, I use a magnet, and it just kind of comes on and off. But yeah, lots of great detail in there. Lots of leather work on this piece, and I seem to have a knack for leather. And then we get a few others. These will all get glued on permanently at the end. So we got 4 leather pouches right here. We got 2 that are the same size. Oh no, they're all slightly different sizes. So what's nice about this is they're all a little bit different. So we got the one on the far right there's kind of got like 2 straps and 2 buttons. The one next to that's got like a flap with 1 button. So they're all slightly different, but those all get the leather technique of some sort. And then I'll decide where I want to put them around the belt, and they'll get pinned and glued it permanently at the end. And then we get like, this is like, I don't know what these are. This to me looks like maybe a smoke bomb or something, and this is like a grenade. Excuse me. And again, these will get pinned and glued on permanently at the end. So there you go. That's the Narin Hellboy breakdown. Oh, we get 2 trinkets. We get a shoehorn and a cross. And I'll do my custom-made trinkets for this also. I'll load them up, because that's the time-consuming part. That's fun though, because I get to make up my own stuff. I got a bunch of those little glass bottles and crucifixes and beads and leather and all that stuff. So we're gonna get him loaded down with some cool stuff also. And that's right after that's done. After all the painting is done, then I go in there and start adding stuff to it. But there's the intro video. So the first video I do on this, I'm gonna work my way from the bottom up. The first step I've got to do is I've got to get the feet glued onto the legs, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that I can get him on the base solid, so I can kind of work on him. In the past, what I've done is I've just added magnets to the feet to the base, but I think on this one, I think I may put just do 1 pin in one of the feet, and that just keeps him from, he'll stand here by himself, but it's always a good idea to have a pin in there. So yeah, I'll probably put a pin in one of the legs down into the base, just so it's something, so he won't fall over either way. Because once he's tall, once he's put together, he's pretty tall. But the fit overall is very good. The only seam work you have are on the arms and the head. Everything else is magnetized or pins. So yeah. So it's gonna go like that. He's a big boy. Let's see, when it's all put together, up to the head on the base, he's 21 inches tall. 20 and a half. Without the base, he's 19. So yeah, big boy. I think I have one more to do after this, and then I'm probably done with Hellboys forever, unless I do one for myself eventually. But yeah, so there you go. I'll call this work in progress number 1, Hellboy. I think it's 6.0. Let's see, 1, 2. I did 3 at one time. No, this is number 7. This is number 7 because I did the first one for Leo. I did a second one for Leo. Then I did one for another collector. And then I did 3 at one time. So Leo, 6. This is number 7. So this is my 7th Hellboy. So I know the kid very well. And I've learned a few things from doing the first 6. So I'm going to work my way from the bottom up and go from there. So stay tuned for work in progress number 2, where we pin and glue the boots to the legs, and get some pins in the base so he's stable. So the first work in progress will be like pinning and stuff, which I've done this before in the other Hellboys too, so it's nothing new. So as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.